I want to say good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's event. We are so excited to have all the female Latina entrepreneurs in the house. This is a collaboration with CAMA DC and Latino Economic Development Center's program titled Empowering Women International. So CAMA DC is a volunteer-run organization that aims to build cultural immigrant-led experiences for immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers in the DC area. And we provide a platform for immigrants to be able to share their skills through classes, storytelling nights, such as this one, to the greater DC community. And the Latino Economic Development Center and EWI, or Empowering Women International, give a voice and create entrepreneurial opportunities for immigrant and refugee women to become change makers in their communities. So a lot of the women in tonight's panel are part of this amazing program. A little bit about me, my name is Claudia Lievano, and I am a volunteer at CAMA DC. I'm also of Colombian descent. I was born and raised in Miami, so it's a pleasure to be here with all these inspiring Latino women, and we're so excited to hear your stories. So tonight we're honoring Hispanic Heritage Month, which began in September 15th and runs through October 15th. And we are hosting tonight a diverse panel of Latino women who will speak on the theme of celebrating female entrepreneurship. So the speakers will have a few minutes to share their stories on their accomplishments, innovations, inspirations, origin, and creativity, and everything that led to becoming entrepreneurs in a foreign country, which is no easy feat. So without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker. Her name is Leohana Carrera. She is originally from Guatemala, and she is the founder of Our Restore. Our Restore aims to provide sustainable workwear for young women by reducing textile waste and empowering immigrants to not just be laborers in this industry, but rather be designers, stylists, and consumers. It is a pleasure to have Leohana tonight.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Claudia. And thank you for all the organizers and everyone. I'm really excited to share this space with all of you. Yeah, so I guess I'll just kick it off with a little bit about me and how I became an entrepreneur. So yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Leohana Carrera. I like to call myself the creator of Our Restore because it's not an idea that I found. It's kind of in creation, I like to say, and using creativity to really mold what I want to see in the space of sustainability and fashion. But yeah, to give you a little bit of background, I was born in Guatemala. I came to the US when I was 9 years old. And I went to school for government and politics. And I think, like many of you, I am not native to the DC DMV area. I kind of came in to the DC area because of college, and then I graduated and I moved on into a professional career where, you have to dress up all the time. I came from more of a rural area where you were able to shop and thrift shop a lot of your workwear. And then in college, there's a lot of time in your hands to be able to play around with your closet. And so transitioning from college into like a full-time job, and then making sure that I'm always dressed professionally, and then trying to meet people in the city. This is kind of like where my idea started. And I took a summer of entrepreneurship, and I remember this quote that I was told that if there's an issue that personally I'm struggling with, there's probably other people. And so a solution around that is what I wanted to kind of build. And that's how Our Restore came about. I found, I would say, a good group of women in DC where we would meet up, we would swap clothes, we would network, and we would have a couple drinks. And it kind of would want to happen every season. And so from there, that's really where the idea came from. I think my favorite part was building connections and community in a city where a lot of the time people want to know what you're doing, where you're from, and what you're working on, and that lack of connection is there. And so clothing and thrift shopping was like the way to make it really fun. And so our Restore has been around for a little bit more than 2 years now. And our real goal is to extend the life of clothing. So there's a lot of clothing that gets dumped, mainly in the South. So I'm from Guatemala, and Guatemala has one of the largest landfills, and a lot of clothes that is disposed in the US ends up over there. And so it all kind of, I went back to my country, and I would see like these indigenous communities like burning the clothes because it's kind of being dumped in their land. And so that's really where I took my experience in the city and kind of thinking like, how can I prevent clothes from ending up in landfill or getting exported? And so our Restore really offers people in the city in DC, Maryland, and Virginia a way to recycle your clothes with us. That clothes forms part of swapping events where we usually get a huge turnout. Usually a lot of the people that come to our events have been there before. So it's really a community of people coming together, swapping clothes, getting rid of their old clothes, finding new gems. Any clothes that's left over forms part of our Restore haul, where we curate a bag of 7 items that fit your style. And usually it's professional workwear. And then any clothes left over, we find creative ways to reuse it. So we partner with an organization that creates carpets out of it. And then we also try to upcycle some of it. And so, yeah, I would say check us out. We're on all the social media handles. But yeah, very excited to hear all the other stories and answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Johanna. That is such a creative way to reduce waste in a world that only produces and consumes. So super inspired by what you do. And I've been to some of your events where she has really amazing clothing, and you can just get like a nice blouse for $5. And so definitely we will plug in so that we can have more people come to those events. Thank you for sharing. Our next speaker is Jennifer Dominguez, and Jennifer moved to Maryland from Guatemala in 2013, where she founded Mom's Sweet Creations in 2019. She works to provide people with healthy gluten, dairy, and sugar-free treats. So Jennifer, if you can please share your story with us. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, Claudia, for that introduction, and thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for the invitation to be a panelist in this event. And well, I'm Jennifer Dominguez. I came to the United States 8 years ago, and I grew and born in Guatemala, where everything started with long time ago with my mother. My mom used to make cakes back home. And when we have a party, we always eat a cake.
You want to say what?
Sorry, Jennifer, you can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, sorry about it. So I was telling about my story. Everything started with my mom. My mom used to make cakes back home. And when we have parties for birthdays or any kind of celebration, my mom used to make cakes. So I accustomed to see the cakes with my mom. And when I came here and I had my first daughter, I tried to find a cake that it has the flavor I used to remember back home, but I couldn't find any cake like the same taste. So I started my journey making my own cakes. So I started taking classes and making my own cakes. and doing the cakes for my daughters and doing cakes for some neighbors or friends. But in 2017, my mom, she passed away from diabetes. So it was hard for me, that situation. So I decided to move to a healthy lifestyle because she used to have a hormonal disorder that I also have. So I decided to start doing, taking classes for a healthy treats, doing diets that are healthy and avoiding sugar, gluten, and dairy. So this is how everything started. So I start making the cookies, breads, brownies that are sugar-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free, because well, we are submerged in a lot of, in a world that is a lot of sugar. So try to give the people who has healthy issues an opportunity to still having a sweet, but that doesn't affect their health. So this is how I found Mom Sweet Creations, and yeah, this is how everything started.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing your personal story on how your business came about. I can't wait to try it. So next speaker we have is Clementine Requena. Originally from Peru, Clementine has over 15 years of experience in audio-visual production. She is the founder and executive director of Latinas con Voz, which works to provide tools to Spanish-speaking families and to empower women. It is great to have you, Clementine.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited. I'm from Peru. I'm Peruvian. I moved here to the DMV area around 7 years ago. And as immigrant, as a woman, I have a career, but here I start taking jobs that I never did before, because I need to work and be useful and keep my mind occupied and try to take as much courses as I have. So for a while I was doing other stuff, but not my career. And I was always in my mind trying to do something with my career, right? Like relator in communications. So finally, like 3 years ago, I started talking with my co-founder, Caro, about do something for our community, because there is a lot of different, the women here have different backgrounds, and we need help. We need to start networking. We need to start getting together. So Latinos con Voz TV was born from a dream of integration, of union, of serving a community that, of course, we are part of. My story comes for long ago. My grandparents were political. They always show me how they put the community first. So in honor to them, I'm trying to do the same, right? I'm not as grandiose like them because they are like my heroes, but I try to do my best with Carol. We try to give back what we have, right? We tried to boost everyone with us. Latinos con Voz start as a TV channel or a digital TV channel this year in January. To be exact, January 13, 2021. And we started with only one show that was, the hostess were Carol and I. And the main thing to do this show was to give resources to the community, information, tools, because we have a lot of information. We have a lot of different nonprofits, and the government have different programs, but our community doesn't know because we have the language barrier. So we saw the need to to start helping out with this. So we start doing this. We start giving our opinion about subjects that we think sometimes a lot of women don't have the same opportunities as men. So we start empowering the woman. We talk a lot about that we can achieve what we can dream of, what we dream of. So thanks to the acceptance of this show, Latinas con Voz, we start seeing that a lot of small business women need to promote their business. So we decide to launch Emprendedoras en Acción. That is our second show. We call it a show, but it's basically a podcast that we go in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Here we give space to Latin women and Hispanic entrepreneurs. We start with women, but now if a man has a business, it's totally free. We invite 2 entrepreneurs every Tuesday for free to promote their business. And then we start with more shows. Now we have Espacio Legal, that is a legal, is attorney that will speak about papers and different legal process that you will need when you are here, and maybe you need to give a solution down in your country. So that she will give you the tools to, or help you out. You can even call her. So now we have in total 10 shows, 2 coachings, entrepreneurs, the lawyer, the legal show. We have a kid cooking show on Wednesday. We have the La Receta with con Miss Roxana, that is basically a show with a Spanish teacher that she will do circle time totally in Spanish, and the story time will be bilingual. But the plus with this is that she will teach our kids sign language. So as I say, like what we are trying to do with our channel is give tools, involve the community, make them participative, and include everybody. Then we have a fitness show, we have a decorations DIY show, we have another coaching show that you will send a live question to this coach, and she will answer you, trying to advise you. So every week we try to pick up the best in our community and try to put it in there. So you will find a lot of information, a lot of resources. Everything is for free. As I say, we go live like a normal TV channel, like, you know, Univision or Telemundo. The shows will be the same schedule every week. But of course, only Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And then we have the other social media as a support, like LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. So our principles include freedom, diversity, sisterhood, multicultural, and leadership. We want to value Latin women, send the message that, as I say in the beginning, we can do it. When we propose ourselves, we want to do it, we can do it. And if you need help, we are here to support you. So we cannot do maybe everything, but we will try. We will redirect you. So now we just launched our commercial area. So we start inserting in our shows publicity. So any small business, big business, nonprofit now can put publicity in our different pick one or more shows and put their commercials, their mentions. We have different options. So if by any chance you're interested in the Latino community and send messages, send publicity, you can talk to us. Thank you so much. I hope you can see us. As I say, in Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, we have these shows that we're very proud to to have them. There is a lot of people that is helping us. We start from nothing. We start just, as I say, with a show, and then start having a lot of people volunteering for us and trying to help us out too. And then we have kind of partnership with a nonprofit, Emprendedoras Latinas en Acción, and we help them to make small artisan fairs. So this Saturday, we're gonna have the 4th. It's gonna be here in Germantown, so everybody's welcome to come, and we are trying to do this and maintain relationships with mostly women, Latin women, but in general now for all the community. Thank you so much for having me.
Clementine, thank you so much. I love what you said about it started as a dream of integration and union, and it seems like that's exactly what this channel does and provides such amazing tools. Thank you for everything you do for our community. And if all the speakers can put like their social handles in the chat, I think that would be awesome so that we can stay connected. Thank you for sharing. Our next speaker is Mireya Rodriguez. Mireya is originally from El Salvador, and she moved to the United States when she was 23. Here she started Annie Bakery, which provides Salvadoran quesadillas and baked goods to wholesalers. We're so excited to have you, Mireya. Welcome.
Hola. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm Mireya Rodriguez. Well, Claudia introduced me already. And I'm a star Annie Bakery. And I growing up in a family bakery. And so we used to bake everything as the way how grandmas bake back in El Salvador. I'm from El Salvador. And I moved to United States, and I'm trying to find the goods, the bread like we used to have in El Salvador. And we cannot find in any bakery like they have only Salvadorian style bread. And so with my mom is Annie, that's why the name. So that's why we start baking it. And we used to live in DC in an apartment building, and as to all our neighbors, like, yeah, we do quesadillas salvadoreñas, and we start that way. But it became a serious business when we see the reaction, the faces of the people. They just call me back, they text me back, and they say, Mireya, I have been eating my quesadillas for maybe 20 years. And they get so excited, and that's how we became Annie Bakery. And we try to, then we moved to a serious business just in 2019. Right now, we are working as a wholesaler, and we take orders and deliver for the customers. But mostly we do quesadillas salvadoreñas. And I want to share with you how I overcome all the barriers, because when we move, we don't know that this country have different laws. Like in El Salvador, you can just start a business and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You just can start selling your goods. But this country have laws, and we have to work so hard to get everything, like all the, I forgot the word, the things like the government require for have the place. And it was kind of hard to adjust to a new place. in different ways to do things, because we used to do back at home. But everything, if we work so hard, to get everything done and the way how this country require. And I want to share with everyone, like, if we can make it, if we made it, and we still made it, everyone can do it. You just have to work hard. Just working so hard. But if it's something like you really like, it works. When you see the reaction in faces of your customer, that work. That's our pay. And when I started at the beginning, it was kind of something disappointed when we see all these barriers, right? But eventually we just adjust to the new place. But it's something like we need help with, we need to find help to get all of this done. So that's why I thank Latino Economic Development Center and the Woman International and Woman Empowered Woman International for all the help, because if they without their help, it can, you know, we feel a little bit lost when we just moved to this country. And so thank you, Kama, too, because you are trying to help immigrants. And that's really something like I really appreciate, because with all this help is, you know, something like it's going to be more difficult. So, well, that's my story. You just keep working and enjoying and share with everyone my culture, that our quesadillas salvadoreñas is not just for Salvadorian people, because when you try it, it's a perfect combination between sweet and salty that everyone can enjoy. And you can find us in Latino market like Mega Mart, and you can find us in Annie Bakery, Maryland. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mireya. Love your spirit and how encouraging you are to other women that are trying to start their business, and agree on having these amazing resources that a lot of the time the community don't know exist, but do so much for people that are starting fresh to a new country, new language, new community. So impressed by you all. So we're gonna move on to our final speaker. Last but not least, we have Patricia Chorio. She is a Venezuelan American digital storyteller and communication strategist who founded the World Center, a social enterprise that partners with women artisans around the world with a mission to help preserve traditional crafts and promote conscious consumerism. She is also the co-founder of The Ethical Bridge, an initiative developed by Latina social entrepreneurs that connects students and researchers to artisans to help promote sustainable and slow fashion production. It is a pleasure to have you, Patricia.
Thank you, Claudia, and thank you so much for having me. Really enjoying learning about all of you and the incredible panelists that we had tonight. So thank you for including me. Yeah, just to share a little bit about my story or my journey as an entrepreneur. I started my project, The World's Corner, while I was living in Vietnam. I was living and working in Vietnam and had lived in the Southeast Asia region for about 1.5 years at that point. And you know, through the work that I was doing, I learned that I was able to connect to a lot of female entrepreneurs in the region and learn so much in a lot of different aspects aspects of, you know, what it means to be an entrepreneur in the region, and especially the challenges that they had to face as women. And a lot of them were from minority groups as well. So they're not only facing discrimination because of their gender, but also because of their ethnicity. And there are a lot of different challenges and barriers there that they have to face on a daily basis, right? So a lot of the women I met were artisans, and they were working, selling their products at the markets and around town, while also working full-time at factories and at local farms as well to support their families. And, you know, through this journey, I started educating myself and learning about the impact of, you know, fast fashion, and especially in this region, and, you know, and what it's doing not only to our environment, but also to our communities and society, right? And so one of the things that I wanted to do was to highlight that the stories of these amazing women that I was meeting, and also find a way to help them generate some extra income. So, you know, and educate our audience as well about what happens, you know, when you purchase an item for $5 here, and what's behind making those items at factories in, you know, Vietnam and Cambodia and Southeast Asia. So I launched the World's Corner in 2017. Like I said, I was still living in Vietnam, and the idea was to create this platform where we share the stories of, and focusing only on the women artisans and their techniques, their life and their motivations. And at the same time, having this marketplace where we could sell their products and help them generate income and build relationships with them. So the idea is it's a social enterprise. So we're investing in their products and giving back a percentage after we sell, so that we build those relationships and it's not like a one-time thing. The idea is really to connect with them and learn from them. So the World's Corner really, it combines everything that I'm passionate about: photography, traveling, storytelling, but also this journey that I'm in as well of becoming a conscious consumer and learning about ethical fashion and promoting traditional crafts as well. In the past 4 years, we've, you know, I've partnered with only one group of women in Vietnam, and we've grown and partnered with several groups of artisans and cooperatives in Vietnam, in Laos, in Papua New Guinea, and Guatemala as well. And we hope, you know, to continue and partner with other women artisans as well, and really creating programs that can impact the communities where they are as well. I've learned that, you know, it's so true, when you invest in women, you really are creating such a huge impact in our communities, in our societies. You're not just supporting the women artisan, you're also supporting their community, their children, their families, and yeah, and helping them thrive. And so, you know, through this project, I've really seen that as an example, and I've really seen that come to life. So it's been incredible. It's an incredible experience, and just learned so much in the past 4 years about myself, but also, you know, the business and sustainability as well. Really happy to be here and would love to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Patricia. That's a very incredible initiative. And like you mentioned, I think we're all becoming more aware of tracking what we buy and how it's produced, and the human rights and social impacts behind our clothing. And so love the inspiration of this business. Thank you for sharing it. So this finalizes all the speaker stories. Thank you so much for all your incredible stories and how you came about with your businesses. So now we're going to take the last portion of this hour to have any guests that are in the audience introduce questions. We also have a few prepared for you all. But for the audience, if you want to share any questions, that would be great. Just put them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. And if you have a specific question for a speaker, you can direct it at them. So I have one question that I want to ask you all, and you did talk about it a bit, but I wanted to ask, what do you think is the biggest barrier facing Latino women entrepreneurs in this country? Whoever wants to jump in can go ahead, and then the next person can follow.
I can start. Well, beside our own fears is because we have to pass that to do the rest. I think is, of course, the language and the stigma that we need a partner or someone to support us. So I think that we are the only ones that can make it happen, that can change any situation that we are in. So that's one part is the language, I think, and the other one is probably like the status here. But the good thing is like this country allows you to, even if you don't have a legal a residency or a citizenship, that you can make, you can start a business.
I would say one of the challenges too is having access to opportunities for funding, for all kinds of opportunities to help you thrive in your business. You have to be very proactive at finding those opportunities. And as a small business owner, you have so much that you're dealing with. And then you add this, outreach piece as well, and it can be very difficult and overwhelming. So I would say, and I think things are getting a lot better. There's a lot more programming and resources, but I think finding ways where, we have access to all of that information on issues about, being an entrepreneur, which, it can be very difficult, especially for solopreneurs too. So access to those, easy access to them. Yeah.
I'm not sure if any other speaker wants to share their thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like one of the challenge, it is, well, there is two challenges. One of it is the language, that we are not, we're Spanish speaking. So most of the people we're coming in here just speak Spanish, and it's hard for us to be in the community that everybody speaks English. So it's hard to find a support also in your neighbors or in the community. And also another thing is the disinformation we have as a business owner, because maybe you have an idea or you have a dream that you want to start something, but you don't know how to start. And as Mireia said before, that this country has many laws. So it's not the same like in our country. We want to start selling something, we want to put a business, and that's it. So here you need to follow the laws and do everything they ask. So there is disinformation of that, because you don't know how you can start. So it depends of the business you want to start. So you have to reach somebody to help you how you can do it. And sometimes you don't know. Also, there is non-profits, or there is organizations like LADC that can help you for free, but we don't know that. So if somebody needs to tell you, you can do it, but in the meantime, you lost money, probably you lost a lot of things before to start your business. So this is a big challenge for me, and I think for everybody as a Latinx business.
Thank you for sharing, Jennifer, and all the speakers that just shared. We have another question from Janet, and this is for Clementine. Can you tell us more about how you overcame your fears?
Hi, Janet. About Latinas con Voz and how it started. I have to tell you a secret. Like, if all my career, I always been producing, like I was behind the scenes all the time. Like I didn't like to be in front of the camera. So when we started the show, I really started because I have to do it. Like I really, I know in Spanish, of course, are very fluid, right? I speak much better. I'm a communication professional. But still, for me, was very hard to be in public, just talking about even subjects that not all the people want to talk. And it was a risk that it was hard for me to start doing it. But I have an objective in mind. I knew what I wanted to do. I had my goals clear. I wanted to start giving a message, and that's why I started doing it. Like I try, and that's why I started doing it. And you cannot imagine when you don't like cameras, or when you don't like cameras, or you have this kind of preference, like you only will do, you will be creative, you will do everything but cameras. So then you just, I think I still having that little nervousness every time I do my show every Wednesday, but I do it because I know I'm sharing information in my own language for people like a lot of women that are here that need that information, that need that somebody tell them the tools, the resources. My opinion about, I consider myself a feminist because I'm a woman. I'm not extremist feminism. And we are trying always to share that feminism is not wrong. It's the way we have to be. Like we need to defend our own sex too. And that's why, that's how, because I start seeing the big picture, like the good, the little good or the big good that I will do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clementine. We have one question from the audience, and I'm encouraging those that haven't spoken, if you can share a little bit about how has COVID impacted your business?
I can share a little bit. Yeah, so when our Restore launched, I had a co-founder in DC, and we had our first event February. And I remember it was we rented out retail space. We had a huge turnout. We were like planning all of our events for the rest of the year. And then 2 months later, and out of that event, usually all of our events, we go in with a little bit of clothing, and then we come back out with lots more of clothing. And so we had this huge collection of clothing that like we were struggling to figure out storage space. And so we were like, we're going to host so many more events in different areas in DC. And then, yeah, 2 months later, COVID hit. And as you all know, all retail spaces shut down. So our actual partnership with a retail space in Pentworth, DC was totally closed down. And for that whole year, we just had all this clothes, and people came to the event, told other people. And so we had a lot of people recycling with us. And we were like, what are we going to do? Because, you know, we can't have any events for the longest time, it was up to 10 people. And usually our events, we have upwards to 50 people who come by. And so that's when we launched the Restore Hall. It was pivoting during that time and getting set up online, figuring out like shipping, logistics, how do you curate, 7 pieces, how do you understand someone's style and put that together. And so I would say COVID really made us, and I think for the good, be able to adapt to being online and being able to deliver a product remotely without meeting clients. And that has really been a hit. I would say that a lot of the people that now purchase our halls are actually have expanded outside of the DC area. We have people from California who request like, how can you? So I think it has pushed us to grow beyond what I was imagining at the beginning. And then just this year, as COVID guidelines have allowed, we have hosted a few pop-up events outdoors. But as you know, as we get into fall, winter weather, those will most likely not be happening just because of the weather. But we do expect that in 2022, we'll start launching all of our events again. So COVID has definitely impacted us, but I think it has had its good challenges it has brought.
Thank you, Lahana. I love what you said about as a business and even as people just needing to be adaptable, especially during this time. And I think we all had to experience that to different degrees. But it's also great what it has pushed us to do as well. If no one else wants to comment on that question, I do have another question. And that is, what advice would you give to other aspiring Latina entrepreneurs? Maybe Mireya or Patricia, if you have any thoughts.
I can just share that, one of the things that I've learned in this journey is that you have to, can't be afraid of reaching out to others and connecting with other people, other entrepreneurs, other female founders, and really advocate for yourself and your business. So you are the best person to advocate for your business. You know your story and what motivated you. And so I think, reaching out and asking, even just for that connection, it helps so much. It helps build a community that's going to support you and help you succeed in your business. But you never know what it can lead. Just by reaching out to people on social media, on their website, on email, I've been able to make some incredible connections, like Leona, and like we met, through Instagram, and building partnerships and friendships as well. So I think it's really important that you're not afraid of that. Even, sometimes you're putting yourself out there, but I think it's incredibly important to do it, to build that community that you need.
Yeah, I think, Patricia, that is right. Like, we need to support each other. And I think that's part of the key why Latinas Convos start growing, because we start partnership, like we start meeting people, and that people was willing to help us and we were willing to help them. So I'm a true believer that if you do stuff for anybody with your open heart, and you try, if you have any ability and you put it out for someone else that is in need, that will help a lot to the other people, that will help you to feel like you are helping, that you I don't know, it's a great sensation when somebody needs you and you can help. Our Latino community is growing a lot in this area. And I think we really need to start just looking around, because we're everywhere. So you're welcome to look our businesses. We personally took the course with Nicole Mireia and Jennifer, and we love it. And I think too that Latina Convos, I didn't mention it in the presentation because I was so nervous, but we finished that course almost 4 months. And because of that and all the help and organizations like LEDC, Empowering Women International, we were growing and never stop studying, never stop learning. I think that's another key. Like sometimes we think like we know everything. We don't know everything. Now with social media, when Leohana was talking about how the business, COVID impacting her business, I was thinking about my business too. Like it actually, in the beginning, we thought we were going to close Latinas because we start with one show on set, and then we have just to go online. But a lot of people now that wasn't before in social media, now is in social media because COVID. So it's a very good opportunity, not only for Latinas Composing, for everybody to move your social media and start connecting. It's free. You just need to, as I say, just move around, start connecting, and thank you.
Amazing. Everything you all have shared is so inspiring, and the power of connection and partnerships and supporting each other and women empowering women. The biggest takeaway I get from everything you all have shared. So I want to end, if any one of you have any final thoughts, maybe how can the community help you grow your business? How can we support? Anything you want to share, and we'll close out with that.
I just want to share, I saw a question before about how to participate in Latinas Convos. You only need to reach out to us, like just write an email, contact us by social media. Our shows are totally free. Emprendedoras Latinas en Acción, that is the show I mentioned, when we, Ale, the host, interview 2 entrepreneurs every week, is totally free. You just need to wait for her to book you, because we have already, I think, all October is booked already, but you just need to wait. Like, you don't need to pay us anything, and just reach out and look for our events. Like, they are free. All the stuff that we do are free. The only thing that we just launched, as I mentioned, is the commercial area. That is, if anyone wanna pass spots or mentions, that will have a cost. But the other, all the shows are totally free, and just text us, just contact us. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. Thank you all so much for the audience for attending our storytelling panel, and for all the incredible speakers on sharing their story. I'm gonna go out and buy this weekend some Annie Bakery and Mom Sweet Creations. And if you can, please follow Kama DC's social media channels. They are in the chat. We love having panel events that highlight the immigrant community, especially females such as you all, but we also have a range of classes that we do, whether that's cooking, art classes, different panels on different relevant topics. We will have an upcoming storytelling night next month on the topic of dating and relationships and what that's like navigating different cultural settings, and it will be very fun and interesting. So I want to say thank you so much for being here as a speaker and as a attendee. Kama DC and LEDC are so incredibly grateful. So with that, have a great night, and thank you all for joining.